We break up and you slam the door. I messed up on the bedroom floor. What the hell do we do this for? I push you out but you come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that love, we got that, 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 we got that love, we got that, we got that. Kiss me and the world disappears. Tell me the things that I wanna hear. I just wanna stay right here. You push me out, but I come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that love, we got that, 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 we got that Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around so little, and we keep track of time, being so serious. Idiots thinking it will matter, keep me company downtown before the clock runs out. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember.
Hey guys, welcome back to another day of the Building a Thriving Digital Community Challenge. Do you know what, Caroline? I keep calling it in my head every 5 minutes the Tribe Funnel Challenge because we renamed it, guys. So that keeps slipping out. How you doing, Caroline?
I'm good. Move my headphones in. I'll keep the mic plugged in.
Guys, drop a comment in the chat if you are here with us right now. Give us a hashtag live. Drop an emoji to tell us how you're feeling today. I'm on fire today. We've got a big day today. Not only are we about to dive into a training that's going to really kind of unfuzz a lot of things around building your community and turning a Facebook group into an actual buzzing, thriving digital community. It's a big one today. We also have John Pemberthy, founder of Ad Clients, on our show at 10:30. And you guys are all invited to come and join us in the live audience over on Zoom. I did go live in the Rebellious Business Network already once this morning to talk about it, but super, super excited for that session as well. So I'm just going to go ahead, be really naughty and just drop the Zoom link into the chat for you guys in a short while, so that you can come and join us at the end of this. We're going to be pretty much back to back, rolling out of this and rolling into that. But first and foremost, before we talk about anything else we're doing today, I just want to give those of you that have done the homework from day 2 a huge shout out. yesterday was a big topic day. Yesterday, we looked into creating the concept, essentially, behind what your community is, who it's for, what problem it solves, and why people are going to join it. And it was a big day. It got some of you thinking, got some of you stressing. And a huge shout out to Emma Cochrane, who was like, I don't know if I've got enough clarity to do this. And you did it. Well done. And, you know, there are some blanks and some things that you still need to think about and iron out. But guys, let me tell you that clarity comes with taking action. We can spend so much time in the theory, in the planning, etc. But we really start to peel back the layers of clarity by just getting out there, getting our hands dirty and doing the thing. So all we need really is baseline clarity on who our audience is. And really the key thing is what that gathering is going to be. What's the benefit of them joining that gathering that you're going to put together for them? So that's what we were talking about yesterday. And just simplify that homework for yourself. If you're stressing out about, oh, you know, I don't know how to make this perfect, don't worry. This is going to be something that you refine with time, something that we can help you to refine tomorrow on the Q&A. Done is better than perfect. Just have a think, okay, what do I want this gathering to be? And just outline that gathering. So just to do a recap then, on Monday, we wanted to get you really clear on your vision for running this community. Why are you running this community? What is going to bring to you? What is it going to bring to your business? And to get clear on those two things. Then yesterday, what we did was we looked into the strategy, like how it works. How do you then start building a community? Where do you find the people? How do you start bringing them in? And the way you do that is by having what we call a tribe magnet. And that tribe magnet is the honey that's going to draw the right people to your community, because you're offering a gathering that your ideal community members would be interested in. So that's the key thing, is clarifying what that gathering is. Is it a training session? Is it a hot seat session? Is it live coaching with someone in the hot seat? Is it a messaging session? Is it a live meditation? Is it a live guitar lesson? Is it a gardening session? Like, what is it that gathering is going to be? Once you've got some clarity on that, then what we do is we promote the gathering. We tell everybody in our existing audience, and we think about all the other places we told you about yesterday, where we can find the right people, and we start promoting it. We say, hey, we've got this event happening, this gathering happening, this webinar happening, this whatever you want to call it happening. I like to call it a live event because it sounds a little bit more juicy, I think. We've got tickets to a live event. I mean, it's literally a Zoom call and a Zoom link. Right? But we like to amp it up and make it sound a bit fancy. So tickets to a live event. So we got this gathering that we're promoting. We're getting people to join the gathering, and then the magic starts to happen, because you've got people turning up, and the consistency of you running that week by week is going to start building a community, because the people that are coming to these gatherings are going to start to get to know each other, get to know you, find real value in being in that space, and want to come back and also tell their friends about it. So what we're looking at today is, how does that gathering work with the Facebook group? Like, how do those two things work in tandem with each other? Like, how can you create a really thriving, buzzing digital community in the Facebook group off the back of running those live gatherings? So let me just check into the chat. Caroline, anything in the chat from anything in the chat that we need to check in on? And
lots of enthusiasm, lots of welcomes, lots of hellos, we've got happy hump day from Deb.
Happy hump day.
Good morning from Sam and from John and from John. We've got a couple of Johns on the chat today. Yeah, everyone seems to be happy and cheerful this morning.
Awesome. Now, guys, one thing I want to let you know about before we get into the training today. That was the introduction. This is the notification. The notification that I want to make you aware of is tomorrow afternoon. So Thursday, 4 p.m. Remember, we have that live Q&A session that you're going to come on and join me. And we're going to basically, and Caroline's going to be there too. We're both going to be here to help you just get laser clear clarity on your tribe event. Like, what is that gathering going to be? So we can help you clarify that. We can also help you clarify the whole system, any questions that you've got. We're going to get everything demystified on that session for you tomorrow. And that gives you a few hours before the deadline to get all the homework in, which is midnight on Thursday. So I have put in the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group, pinned to the top, there is an event there that says Thriving Digital Community Q&A or something Q&A. I can't remember what I put on there, but there is the Zoom link to come and join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. I will also email you about it as well. So you've definitely got that Zoom link, but just in case you don't get an email or something happens, go to the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group. There is an event listed in the Facebook group and the Zoom link is inside the event to come and join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Q&A. Also, very brief recap of what we are doing in this challenge and how everything works, just for those of you that are late joining us and jumping on. It's not too late to join us. This has started already, but you can catch up by registering on a link I will share with you in a moment. We are on day 3 of this 5-day challenge. Okay, so Monday we looked into are you tribe ready? This was all about your vision. Yesterday, planning your tribe. Today, we're talking about running your tribe. Tomorrow, we're looking into monetizing your tribe. And then on Friday, we're looking at optimizing your tribe. We've got that Q&A tomorrow. We've got the deadline to get the 4 pieces of homework we're giving you posted into the Facebook group by Thursday midnight, because on Friday we're going to be handing out £3,400 worth of prizes, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm a little bit excited about that. That for me is the best part of the entire week, to get to hand out those prizes. It'll be a lot of fun. So to be in the running to win the prizes, so just a quick show you what they are as I tell you how to win. To be in the running to win one of these amazing 5 prizes we've got up for you, all you need to do is get those 4 bits of homework done. Remember, done is better than perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be done. If you've got a worksheet to answer the questions as well as you can. If you've got a task to do, just do it as well as you can with the clarity you've got now. More clarity will come to you as you take more action with putting this into practice. All 4 bits of homework in by Thursday midnight. We might accept a late submission, but just be careful. Definitely, if it's in by Thursday midnight, you are in the prize draw. We're going to be spinning the wheel on Friday, Good Friday, 9:30 in the morning. We'll be live and doing the prize draw to announce who has won. Okay, Caroline, are we ready to get into it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I unmuted myself because I was typing. The chat's going wild. John brought up a very important point that we've also got another John on today. We've got a few Johns in the chat, plus we've got John P coming on today. So it's John Day. It is officially coined
John Day today. Happy John Day, everybody. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that session we've got on at 10:30. John Pemberthy in the house. It's going to be epic and actually really relevant for you guys, because tomorrow we've got a session on like how we're monetizing our tribe funnel. But what John Pemberthy's coming on the show to talk about today is an anti-alpha sales strategy that's generated him 30 million in sales over the last few years. And he is just like us in the sense that he is totally against all those icky, like alpha sales strategies. He's all here for he's here for soulful sales, feel good sales, sales that bring the value. And what hopefully you're going to get by the end of that second session this morning is some real clarity and strategy in and around the way that you handle sales calls. So, I mean, it is totally relevant for this week. And it's a real treat that we've got someone who has had that much success and is that much of an expert in sales, marketing, online business coming onto the show to share those golden nuggets with us today. So please do come and join us. I will drop the Zoom link in the chat for you. It's at 10:30 and we are going to be live on the show, and hopefully you are going to be there in the live audience with us. So Caroline.
Yes.
We were talking yesterday about, this live event, how it creates this buzz. And what I want everyone to know is that the purpose of marketing is building relationships. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you're marketing. The purpose of it is building relationships with your audience, because relationships are made out of trust. And that's what you need to create, is trust with your audience, so that they are willing to, excited by, wanting to work with you as a coach, consultant, mentor, designer, you know, whatever your business is, we've got to create that trust. Now, one of the things I love about live events, I met Caroline at a live event. You know, I've been to so many live events that are in person. What happens off the back of these events is everybody's got a bit of a buzz, right? You've just been to this event together. There's this buzz that happens. And believe it or not, like this happens online with online events as much as it happens with offline events. Obviously, an offline in-person event like AdCon, for instance, is going to be something that has a real kind of in-person buzz. You're all in the room together. But when you create these online events, even if you've got 2, 3, 4 people on this call, you bring in these people together. By the end of it, there will be this kind of post-event buzz. And I like to describe this as what happens is it creates a bit of a whirlwind bizmance. So if we use the kind of dating analogy for building relationships in business, and we look at how we need to build a relationship with people so that they trust us and they're ready to commit to us, what happens off the back of these online events and offline events is you create this whirlwind bizmance. I don't know if you've been to a conference before. Drop it in the chat if you've ever been to a conference before, like AdCon, Expert Empires, Traffic and Conversion Summit, you know, a big conference, and maybe you sat in the audience. So drop a yes if you've been. You sit in the audience and you watch the speakers on stage, and by the end of their 30 or 60-minute presentation, they've got like half the room running, literally running to the back of the room to buy the thing they just pitched. And it's fascinating to watch, because when that person walked into that event and stood up on that stage, maybe a lot of those people didn't really know who they were. They weren't really au fait with all the accolades and the story and, you know, the reason why there'd be the perfect solution to their problem. But by the end of that presentation, they're running to the back of the room to buy the product. Now, the reason why that happens is because, yes, they gave a great presentation, but there was a lot of trust that was created in that 30 or 60-minute presentation, to the point where that person watching now believes that they have the keys to the castle and they need to go get them, right? So what happens in that room is you create that there is a lot of social proof. That person's on stage, well, they must be good if they're on that stage. There's people in the audience that already know that person on the stage. And so that creates a lot of social proof. They've already got fans in the room, so they must be good. They're on that stage, so they must be good. And guys, this is what we're creating with your digital community. When people walk into your community off the back of these events that you're running, this buzz that you're creating, they're going to walk into your Facebook, digitally walk, right, into your Facebook group community. And there is this buzz that's there. And what that's going to give you in your business is a lot of social proof. There are people in your audience that are raving about you. There are people that are showing up regularly. And that is going to give you instant social proof, which creates this whirlwind bizmance. What we want to talk about today is, how do you keep the buzz going in between those events? Because it's all very well having an event that creates the buzz, but then, you know, maybe you've got a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks until the next event. How do you keep the fire burning in between, so that you don't have like an event that brings in a load of new people, they all go cold, the fire goes out, and you have another event that brings in a load of new people, they all go cold, the fire burns out, another event that brings a load of people, they all go cold, the fire burns out. The purpose of your Facebook group, the kind of platform that houses, the cardboard box that houses your community, is to keep that fire burning strong between those events. So if you imagine what was the example we had yesterday, Caroline?
The caravan thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. So my uncle has an incredible community. Okay. He has this business called Motorhome Fun. You may have heard of it if you are a motorhome enthusiast, because it's one of the biggest communities for motorhomes in Europe. And so what he does is he goes to these events, and there'll be like a motorhome show, for instance, and all of his community will, or a lot of his community will come along to this motorhome show. They'll all pitch up their motorhomes in this field that my uncle's managed to secure, and they'll have tea together and they'll hang out together, and there's this real sense of community. They're all camping together, they're all having a great time at this event. Now he does that maybe 4 times a year. So what happens in between those events are like where the magic happens. They're where people meet each other, they're where people gather together, and this sense of kind of community, or we all know each other, we're all part of this together, is formed and maintained. But in between those events, he has an online forum, and that online forum, a bit like a Facebook group, acts as the thing that holds the community and keeps the fire burning in between those events. So the next time there's an event on, those people have been chatting and connecting in that forum, and they come along to the next event, and it's like a reunion. They're all seeing each other in person again. You know, oh, hey, John, because it's John Day. Oh, hey, Sally. Hey, Susan. Hey, Jessica. It's great to see you. And they're having tea together and they're hanging out together. And there's this really strong sense of community. So your Facebook group, that's its role in this. Okay. Your event, yes, it brings new people in and it engages existing people and nurtures existing people. Okay. That's really, really important. Without the event, you don't have a very strong fire. But without the Facebook group, you don't have anything that maintains the fire between the events. So the purpose of the Facebook group is to keep the fire burning between those events so that you've got this evergreen, round the clock buzz that is constantly going and rolling and turning. Caroline, summarize.
So basically, we've got like these live events, which we're going to be promoting to everyone, wherever it is. You might already have an existing Facebook group and you're like, okay, how do I create this thriving digital community that Cordelia is talking about when I've already got an existing Facebook group? The community happens, the connection happens in the live events, in the gatherings, right? Like you think of it in a small sense, right? It could be like a book club, right? Or it can be a massive 500 people event like AdCon, that you all meet up in, right? Those connections happen at the events, and there's a thing at the events that draws people to them. There's a value in the events. So that is where the buzz, the connection, the community really happens. But where do the people live after that? They live in a Facebook group or any kind of group, actually. It could be a forum, it could be Reddit, it could be anywhere. But we really recommend a Facebook group because it's set up to support community conversations. So once you've done you want to have your events running regularly, and you're putting your promotion out for this event regularly. Like it could be once a week. That's what I did when I first started. A once a week promotion, bringing people into my event. People were there, and then they went into my group where they then talked amongst themselves. So what we're talking about today is you've got this thing set up to have these regular events to really build these communities, these connections. But then how do you keep those connections burning and the people who've attended to come back more than once? You don't want them to just fall off the edge of your promotions cycle, like just because they've attended the event. Where do they go next, so that they know about all the upcoming events? You want to keep hold of them and draw them back in. So the Facebook group acts as this the thing that was in my head was call center, but that's so unappealing. It acts as just the place where everyone meets and hangs out and talks afterwards. It's like we used maybe controversial churches as an example. You've got your weekly sermon, but then after that there's lots of other little things going on, but you can get involved in community activities, you can have your little meetups afterwards, and there's like maybe some kind of Facebook group where people are talking about things and sharing important things to do with that interest. So the Facebook group isn't the community itself, but it's where the community lives. And some people will join the Facebook group and not have any interest in the events. They'll be interested in the events, right? They'll join, they'll sign up, they'll jump in, or they'll say they'll join, but they won't join. They'll just hang out in the Facebook group because they're camera shy. Okay, that's fine. But the community is housed in the Facebook group, and the community in the Facebook group should be keeping that fire burning. But the events are the main event, basically.
And what you just said about sermon there, like, let's just unpack that a little bit, because we all know the reason why church is a really good example. And by the way, it doesn't have to be church, any religious gathering, right? But we'll use church because we all kind of know how this works. Being in the church community is a byproduct, but it's a really awesome outcome of being part of a church. But that's not necessarily why most of the people have gone to church. It's just what's happened as a result of regularly going to church, right? So the thing that draws people into church is the sermon. They want to go to the Sunday service. And perhaps they go to the Sunday service, the Sunday service, the Sunday service, and then they start to get involved in church life or start to make friends there, and they're connecting with people in and outside of the church. Sunday school, maybe there are other events that the church puts on, and that church starts to feel a bit like a community, right? So look, we're not going to compare ourselves to church, okay? Because that's not what we're trying to achieve here. But it just in that same kind of way, that's how this works. You have a live event, the live event you promote, and it draws people in. That live event, that gathering, okay, that brings people together, draws people in. And then you have this method to keep that sense of community in between events. And this, by the way, we had a question yesterday. Do I have to do this weekly? Can I do this monthly? I want you to know that the shorter the frequency between events, the easier it is to keep the fire burning in between. The longer the frequency between events, the harder you have to work to keep the fire burning. Does that make sense? Drop a yes in the chat if this is making sense and it's really clear. So you have this gathering, creates a sense of community, creates a buzz, and then you need to keep the fire burning between the gatherings. If you have a gathering once a month, you've got a month worth of community engagement work that you need to do to keep everything going. So also to add to this, I'm not really in the Facebook group all the time. Like genuinely, I hold my hands up and I'll say, I wish I was in there more. But the reality is we've got like 100 clients. I've got 3 kids. I'm busy. I've got loads of stuff going on. You know, I'm working on projects behind the scene. We've got launches happening, live trainings happening. Got a lot of things that are happening. I'm not in the Facebook group engaging and posting and commenting and sharing every single day. This doesn't become like a full-time job, because if you get the things in place that we're going to show you today, what happens is the community creates itself. You just have this place and this way for that to continue on an evergreen basis so that there is this feeling of community. Yeah. What's happening in the chat, Caroline?
We have a yes from Mark Lyons. We can get some more yeses. John also, because it's John Day, he says, you know, if you let the embers of the fire die out, it's harder to get started again. And yeah, it is harder to get started again. It's not impossible, by the way, but we'll get to that later. We really need to
Really crack on.
We need to give you the goods. We got a yes from Tash. She says, yeah, I answered one of her questions. This explanation of how events and community works is literally the most useful explanation I've heard ever. Love that from Emma. Amazing. And you know what, guys, we'd love for you to keep the chat going so that we can get this post out to more people. The more engagement we have, the more like watches we have, the more other people will get this. And this is really useful stuff, as Emma has said. And we've all got to believe Emma.
Fab. So there are 3 pillars of post-event engagement you need, okay? And those 3 pillars are, just to give you a roundup, and then we're going to unpack them. Number 1, it's the culture that you create in your community. Now that sounds difficult. I used to think that was really hard. Like one of my mentors created this incredible culture in his community, and I was like, oh my God, this man is like God. Like, how did he do this? This community is insane. It's actually easier than you might think. So creating a culture, how do you create a really good culture so that it's an awesome place to hang out and a place where people feel accepted, like they belong there, like they're a part of it, they feel supported and all that good stuff. So culture is really important. The next thing is it's our contribution into the community. So yeah, we've got the live events that we run every week, but there is also some contribution that we have put into the community that, you know, has also become evergreen with time. But there's been a bit of trial and error with that. So we're going to talk into what community contribution you have to do into your community. And then the other one, the 3rd pillar, is creating a posting purpose. So this is where your audience are really clear on how they can contribute to the group. What is the purpose of them posting in the group? You won't just have people just posting for the sake of it in huge numbers without them having some idea of how to do that. And we actually found that We had a lot of rebels that were saying, I really want to get involved in the group. I really want to post in the group and share in the group, but I just don't know what to say, or I don't know how to do that. So we started creating things to make that easier. So those are the 3 pillars: culture, your community contribution, and the posting purpose. And let's unpack those now. So the first one then, culture. This is the thing that you're going to set the tone of and create before you've even got anyone in the group. Like, it is incredible how you can create a culture really flipping fast. And the way you do this is by essentially setting the tone of what people can expect from the community. The first place you do this is in the description of what the group is. I recommend when you have your Facebook group opened, you have a welcome video that you tag everybody in that is new to the group. And it just basically outlines what the group is, what they're going to get out of being here, and how people behave. Now, there's a really clear distinction here by telling people how, like, what the vibe is and telling people how to behave. There's like the dictator versus the leader. Okay, so we don't create a great culture by going, now I expect all of you to be really nice to each other, be really supportive of each other, and I'm not going to put up with any rude, racist, nasty comments from anybody. You will be removed from the group, you will be taken out, you will be banned. This has to be a really nice community, a really safe space. Like, none of us want to be spoken at like that and told how to behave. Like, it's patronizing, it's also a bit rude, and it gets our back up, right? When people tell us how to behave like that, it's like, all right, well, I wasn't going to be an asshole, thank you very much, but now I might, just to annoy you. So that is not how you create a good culture. You don't lay down the rules, you don't tell people how to behave. Here's how you do it. You tell people what the culture already is in the group, even if there's no one in the freaking group. I have done this in a pop-up group, and within an hour of laying this down, people have been jumping onto Zoom calls with each other to support each other. People have been like showing up in the comments to answer questions and give advice, and it was just nuts. It was my kind of aha moment of like how easy it is to create a culture. Here's how you do it. Welcome to the Rebellious Business Network. It's so awesome to have you here. This is a really safe space. Everybody in here is really kind, really supportive, really welcoming. And so blah, 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 blah. You're telling people how it is. You're telling people how it is, because here's how this works. When we walk into a new environment, subconsciously, we are scanning the room to see how we should behave in that environment. I'll give you a real example of how we do this. Let's say you're in a restaurant and there's a big, mighty crash, right? The first thing we will do is look around at everybody's face. How is everybody reacting and everybody responding? And how should I therefore react and respond? Now, if everybody gets up and starts screaming and running, you're probably going to do the same. You're going to get up and scream and run because you're like, oh my God, this is dangerous. We need to get out of here. But if everybody's just chilled and calm and cool, then you know that, well, it was probably some cutlery that got dropped on the floor, right? You kind of work it out. And this is what we do as human beings when we walk into a new environment and we adapt ourselves to fit into that environment, is that we just see how the behavior is and we go, okay, that's what's expected of me here. So what you want to do is you want to outline the expectations by explaining what the culture is already like, what the environment is like, how people behave, how people show up in this group. And you know what? I'll tell you something incredible. I've been in so many Facebook groups where there's bitching and moaning and poking and prodding, and there's like people like arguing in the comments. We have none of that in Rebellious Business Network. I haven't had to remove anyone or ban anyone from the Rebellious Business Network in about 2 years. We are running ads to cold traffic that bring people into the network. And I'm not moderating, removing, like banning people from the network to keep the culture safe. I'm just not. And the reason being is because we've just got this great culture and it bleeds into how like more and more people behave as they come in. And so step one of outlining that is just in the welcome video. Have a welcome video in your Facebook group so that when people join, they watch that welcome video because you tagged them in it and you set the tone of what it's like in here. Now, of course, you can moderate and remove anyone that's nasty and whatever and fine. And I'm sure we'll get someone at some point, Like, we have had people in the past that have been a bit mean or a bit rude, and we've said, look, we just sorry, but we just don't condone that kind of behavior in here. This is a supportive environment. That's where you can get a bit like that. But we just basically set the tone. So a couple of places where you do that. You set the tone on the welcome video. You reiterate the tone when you ask people to post or to share into the group. You reiterate the tone when you describe the group, or you tell people to come join the group. Every time you're kind of talking about the group, talking about the community, you're seeding the culture by going, it's a really supportive environment. People are really friendly. People are really welcoming. They're really kind. And what that does is it causes people to basically mirror that behavior so that they are a part of that and fit in. And I'm telling you, it works. Like, it's as simple as that. Caroline, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that's perfect. Like, you've just got to make sure that the culture you're setting up is relevant for the events that you're producing, and that these two are aligned. And also when you're creating the welcome videos, or when you're creating any welcome posts, or even the welcome questions, you're setting an example of how you want people to show up in your community, and then they know if that's the right place for them. It is in an intuitive way. And also how you show up in the events, this is going to show people your vibe. I mean, if anyone, like, as in the Rebellious Business Network, has been on one of the calls with us, they can already feel what our type of energy is. So creating an energy and just showing up as yourself, which is very important, and emulating what you expect from others, is a better way of communicating the culture expectations than finger wagging. So that's my sort of takeaway on that. It's just make sure, like, you emulate the energy that you want from your audience. You don't tell them how to behave, and then you create content that demonstrates that through welcoming people and creating content in the space to welcome them in that fits with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's so much easier than you might think, but it's just about, that leadership. This is where you step into leadership, right? And you just essentially create this awesome environment. And it is a beautiful thing. Like, it really is a beautiful thing when you have that. Like, I have hearts in my eyes a lot of the time when I'm looking through the group, and it feels so awesome to just see you guys supporting each other. See, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now without even realizing I'm doing it now. Like, when I just said that is creating culture right there. It's so awesome to see you guys supporting each other, right? And that's the kind of thing that you're seeding. But, often it's just me authentically going, oh my God, this is amazing. But also, if you've got a brand new group you're launching, you just essentially say that as if it's already there. That's the key. Don't go, oh, this is going to be a really great. It already is. Even if we've got 3 people in there, it's bloody wonderful. Okay. And just tell them how wonderful it is. And people will kind of follow suit. All right. The next pillar then is our community contribution. How do we contribute into that community? Now, there are a few things here. And when it comes to the content inside your Facebook group, remember, this is just about keeping the fire burning. So you're speaking to a very specific group of people here, in comparison to when you're on your Instagram account, or you're on your LinkedIn account, or you're on your Facebook business page. This group of people are your community. They're aware of your events. They're aware of the content you're putting in the group. They're aware of it all. Outside of the group, you kind of need to sort of explain things further, or you're talking to a mix of people that don't know you, people that know you, people that know you really well. So inside the group, you're talking to a specific group of people. These are like your homies inside the group. So that makes the kind of content that you put in the group different anyway. You don't want to treat your group like it's an Instagram page where you're just posting, the kind of content that you post out on social media. The stuff that you put in your group is for the community, about the community, to engage the community. So a couple of ideas, and this is going to be your homework today, just coming up with some ideas of how you're going to engage the group. But a couple of ideas and things that we've done. Number one, it's trial and error. Some things are really popular, and you'll put content in the group and it'll get loads of engagement from people, and that's great. And then sometimes things just kind of bomb. and no one's really interested, and that's okay too. So we want to have a few ideas or a few things that we try, and then some will stick and become kind of an evergreen way of engaging the group, and others will just, you know, put a pin in that one, let's try something else. And so we've got a bunch of ideas that we're going to give to you. A couple of ones that have worked really well for us is posting engaging questions in the group. So silly, easy to answer questions like, would you prefer to work from the countryside with a view of rolling hills or work from the beach with a view of the sea? Like, for a businessy audience, you know, that's a really simple and easy to answer question. Another one is like, work from home or work from a co-working office? What's the origin story of your business name? What's your lead magnet that you're using right now? You know, these questions that you can just drop into the group. And I normally create a month of them, because you can schedule a month's worth of a month in advance in a Facebook group. You can't schedule it after a month. It might be 2 months, actually. Can't remember, but it's about a month or 2 months max. I will go and get a load of questions generated from ChatGPT, pick my favorites, and then just schedule them once, like once or twice a week into the group, to just automatically go in over the course of the next month. And people love answering these questions. I mean, there are a few questions that have gone viral on social media over the last few years. Can you think of any? I'll give you the first one off the top of my head. Which way do you put the toilet roll on the toilet roll holder? Do you put it with the paper coming out against the wall or the paper coming out away from the wall? Like, that's one that like went wild. Everyone's been answering that question. Another one, pineapple on pizza. Pineapple on, should pineapple be on pizza? I mean, it's another question that went absolutely wild. So people love to share their opinion on these questions on social media. So just coming up with simple, easy to answer questions that you can drop into the group that people can just answer super easily. The colour dress, exactly. There's another one. There's another one. There's been loads of them. But you just come up with simple questions that people answer, and you'll get, like, you know, a ton of answers and loads of engagement. And they're really good conversation starters, right? You have a little bit of bickering happening. Yeah, but I disagree with you, or you have conversations. They're conversation starters. But the purpose of them is just engagement, because the more engagement you can get in the group, like people commenting on your posts and also people posting their own posts, shows the Facebook algorithm that your group is engaged, people are interested in your group, and it will start to advertise your group as a recommended group to people that are in similar groups. Okay. Other things that you can do is, these are really, really, really good. If you've got if you've got the urge to have a rant about something, go live and rant about it. A couple of examples of times I've gone live and ranted. There was a live summit that was running, and a couple of my clients had got involved in this live summit, and they had to promote this live summit and get a certain amount of leads in, and they were just treated really badly. And there was a really, really shitty email that one of my clients got off of the organizers of this summit, and I just felt so angry that they were treating people like that I went live into the Rebellious Business Network, private safe space community of my people, went live in there to just talk about it and say how disgusted I was. The community loved it, you know, and they got behind it. Also gives insight into what my values are and what I care about, which just draws people closer. Another example, awards, my opinion on awards, like these vote awards that can be like popularity contests, and how I absolutely freaking hate them, and thank you for nominating me, but I will not be standing for votes in this upcoming award. You know, my opinion, but I'm sharing it in a ranty kind of video that's just creating more connection with my audience inside the community. And then they're all commenting and sharing their opinions because I've asked them to. So we've got spontaneous ranty lives, right? If that one works for you. We've got questions dropping in the group. Another one is interviewing and spotlighting members of your community. Okay, so often we'll get one of our members of a community on a live video, and I will interview them, find out a bit more about them. And because we're a business network, it'll be specifically about their business and who they're working with, who they're helping, what difference they're making, etc. But so that is like your contribution into the community and the stuff that you're posting. And what you need to remember is, in order to get engagement from that stuff, you've got to invite people to share their thoughts. What's their opinion? What's their ideas? What's their answer to this question? You know, so ending that post or that video with a question, having the chat up so that you can engage, asking people to drop a hashtag live if you're live, or hashtag replay, or, you know, asking questions as you go through to just increase the connection that's happening in the chat. Caroline, any other ideas? You got any other ideas?
Well, we had an extra question. We had an extra comment in the chat about what colored dress it is. I don't know if anyone else got involved.
Yeah,
in
I did
blue or
mention that,
gold dress. Also, the other post that seemed to do really well with engagement was give me any piece of advice, and people just love
yeah.
it just goes to show everyone loves their 2 pence. Everyone wants to put their 2 pence in, and it shows you also what people care about, like any piece of unsolicited advice in any topic or whatever. So these are all like really good. These are all little techniques, I think, to create conversations in your community. I personally love like the things like the connection template that we've got. That's one of my favorite things, are like things where I have something specific going out each week. Like, I'm a creative person, so I find it very hard having so many ideas that I can't keep up with them. You're also creative, but you're able to just go, let's have this post out, let's have this post out. You can kind of like just keep up with everything that you put out. Me, I'm like, oh, I need to have one thing at a time going out regularly. So I like the regular pieces of content that we have going out, like the connection template. And I love, well, we can get into the posting purpose for them. I suppose that is posting purpose, but yeah, the connection template, and also obviously the pillar weekly content.
Well, that is the next point, isn't it? The 3 pillars. So that the second one was your contribution to the group, so the things that you're putting in. The third one is the posting purpose, the outlined way that you've created that people can then use to engage and interact in the group. Now, we call this posting purpose because it's the purpose for people to post in the group, because a lot of people don't know how to. Like, if I just said, right, go chat in that Facebook group, you'd be like, okay, how? What do I say? How do I, you know, that and then a bit, walking into a room of new people anyway is like a bit daunting, let alone going into a Facebook group and just posting stuff. One of the easiest things that people can do is just share their content that they're already putting out on social media into the group. Fine, but just saying that hasn't been enough to get people to post into the group. So what we do is we define these posting purposes, and then we support people to then use them to put into the group. Now, one of the posting purposes that you've all been doing that will be clear to you right now is, during this challenge, at the end of every session, we're giving you a task, and then you post that into the group. That is a posting purpose. We're giving you a purpose to post into the Facebook group, and that's because you've got to like do a task and put it into the group. So that's the first one. And one of my clients uses this really successfully in her tribe funnel, is that at the end of every gathering, she sets them a task and then gives them a PDF to do the task, and then they post into the Facebook group that they've done the task, and it holds them accountable to basically take action from this live session that they did. So that in and of itself is a posting purpose. Another one that we have that Caroline's already mentioned is where you've got a intro template, or a template where people can fill in the blanks to put a post in the group. So we're a networking group, so the posting purposes for us are all around promote yourself, promote your business, create connections, meet people, etc. So we've created, or Caroline's created, a connection template where people can grab the template, fill in the blanks, drop it into the group, and they've introduced themselves. But we then went one step further with that and created a different connection template that we email out to people every single week. Now, you don't need to start doing that right now, but this is the kind of thing where it's like trial and error, listening to a community, talking to people, finding out why they're not engaging, you know, asking them questions about how they're finding the community, you know, what you could do to make it easier for them, to make it better for them, to make it more powerful for them. And we've learned along the way some things that have enabled us to do that, to make it easier. And the connection template, a lot of people said that's really helpful. We love that. It's enabled us to, you know, connect in the group without thinking. Another one that we do is the video challenge. So posting purpose, post one video every day for 30 days to increase your confidence on camera. Now, I know we've got Laura who is doing this challenge, and she's helping people to be more confident in front of social media. So she could 100% do something like that, you know, video challenge, safe space, safe environment in a Facebook group. And I challenge you to post one video a week or one video a day, or, you know, whatever frequency. And that then becomes their posting purpose. Adam Woods, one of my past clients, who is a camera confidence coach, used the video challenge as his posting purpose. And he was also critiquing people's video skills and, you know, how they could improve as well. So they were learning as they went. Caroline's posting purpose in her previous community before partnering with me was that she had people could post their copy, because Caroline is an advertising specialist in YouTube ads and messaging and copywriting, and people would create an advert, drop it into the group, and then she would critique that advert for them and help them to improve it. So posting purpose can be something that people need to practice. A way, in like the easiest and first one is getting people to introduce themselves, setting them a task for them to complete something or do something, and having some kind of outline for how the engagement happens so people know how to interact with the group. So those are your 3 pillars. The culture that you're creating in the group starts with that welcome video. Oh, actually, Caroline, you do the summary. You are the summary expert.
Sorry, I'm still like getting involved in the chat.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so the summary is basically to give people a reason to post, but also, if you can, make it as easy for them as possible. So one more final example, we have like with Doug, one of our clients, he does goal setting, and so there's an incentive, but he also would put out a post reminding people to do that. So I think the most important thing with your posting purpose, and it can be as simple as like, let's go back to this church analogy, and they've just gone through a specific passage in the Bible as an example, or whatever religion it is. Let's not get too like hung up on that. Within the week, you could just put a post out saying, what were your takeaways from this week's sermon? And like, can you do your own research on that? And then people can go, oh, I read this passage and I really like this. I think you didn't bring this out. Actually, I have this take on it. So creating a conversation around the relevancy of your community is going to be really important. Like, try not to think of it too much in this business frame of how do I get people to engage and how do I get all my group metrics up or whatever. Just think like, okay, this is the gathering I want to have for people. This is how I want to like create a community and support people. This is an event I think they'll come to. How do I keep them engaged, you know, like with something that's relevant to them? Because we have a network, we get people to introduce themselves, because that's what you need to do in a network. And we create a template to get over their shyness, because people are shy when they go networking. We also have a weekly connection template so that you can stay connected. Like if you're on our email list every week, you get a template to connect. But you don't need to do that. You can just have every week after your networking event, hey guys, don't forget to introduce yourself. And then other things, like video challenges ongoing. So the point is to make it relevant to whatever event you're creating, and also make it easy for them to contribute. And that's what helps create these like relationships. And it does really center around the value of the event, the value of the community. What are they going to benefit from, and what are they actually going to want to engage with?
Yeah, and so you've got the live event that you're running, and then what you're doing with this engagement is this is all happening in between the live events. So Tasha's saying, is this after the event? This is just happening in the group regularly in between the events, or, you know, so you've got, obviously when you're starting this, you've got your first event, and then you want to kick off something in the group that gets them to engage. The easiest thing to do this, if you're doing this from the beginning, is you have a live event, and then you get them to either post in the group about what their biggest takeaway was from the event, and introduce themselves. Introducing yourself is a really simple way. You just say on the call, you're like, guys, I'm putting together a community for us so that we can all stay connected. I'm going to be running these events regularly, but I really want us to be able to support each other and be able to connect with each other outside of these events as well. So everybody from this event, you will find them inside the Facebook group. that I'm putting here. So everybody joined just so that we're all in there and we can all stay connected in between these events. And what I would love for you to do is just drop in the group just so that everyone can get to know each other, who you are and what your goal is, or what your business is, or what your this is, or what your that is. And also tell me, what was the biggest takeaway from attending today? And you just get them to go and post in the group, and people will, because you've told them how to. That's what I mean by posting purpose. Like if you just give them the link to the group and go engage people, they'll be like, what? Okay, well, maybe, I don't know how. So you kind of create this purpose, you create this reason or this way for them to go in and start engaging. So look, your homework today is really simple and it's really fun. And it's based on the idea that this takes trial and error. Okay, I don't want you to go, right, I'm going to create this posting purpose, I'm going to do a video challenge, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And you try it and no one engages with it. And you go, rah, no one's engaging, it's over. This takes trial and error. We've had lots of posting purposes and things that we've done in the past that absolutely bombed. Like just no one was engaging with it. No, it wasn't working. So look, remember, you are a marketer, and as a marketer, you are a scientist. And as a scientist, you've got to conduct a lot of experiments. And so we've got a PDF for you that I've already dropped into the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group. I'm going to pin it to the top just now for you. So it's easy to access. And that worksheet has got examples on it. I want you to pick 3 ways in which you plan to engage your community in between the events. You just got to come up with 3 engagement strategies that you're going to test. Okay, they're not necessarily going to work. It's going to be trial and error. Then you might do the first one. It's like, oh, people love this. And then from there, it'll be like, okay, well, how do I make this sort of, oh, how do I optimize it? Maybe I need to send a weekly email about this posting purpose I've created, or, you know, maybe I need to create a template or whatever. But first we just test things live. Are people engaging with it? Is it a success? Do people, you know, understand it? Are they doing it? And so we want you to pick 3 engagement strategies that you're going to use to start engaging your community, whether you've got one now or whether you're going to be launching one when you do your first tribe event. So I have just pinned that to the featured section of the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group. And I've just got 1 minute basically to just show it to you. And then I'm going to have to go because we've got John Pempathy on the Rebellious Business Show, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse the weird accent. I sometimes go into random accents. I'm going to grab the Zoom link to the show for you as well in a second so that you can come and join us over on Zoom for that as well. So let me do that. I'm just going to drop the link to the Zoom. So you can come and join us on Zoom for the John Pempathy session. That's in the chat. And let me just quickly share screen to just show you today's homework. Share screen. I think it might be this one. Okay. So all you need to do is pick 3 ideas. Now we've given you some engagement inspiration, some ideas of ways in which you can engage your audience here. You can just pick one of these ideas if you want. If you like the sound of it, great. Or if you're feeling inspired and you've got your own ideas, awesome. You know, write those down as well. So we want you to list 3 activities, describe what each of them is, right? So that we get it, and how it's going to look in your group. For example, if you pick a photo sharing day as a way to engage your community, you might ask members to share a funny pet photo on Saturday. Why? Well, I chose photo sharing day because everyone loves their pets and it will get a lot of people chatting and laughing. Okay, so this is essentially what you need to do. You need to pick 3 ways in which you engage your community. Have a think about it. How's it going to look? How's it going to work? How are you going to do it? Follow the guidelines in the example that we've got here, and then post your 3 ideas just as a written post into the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group with hashtag TF3, because it's day 3 and we're teaching you how to build a tribe funnel. TF stands for tribe funnel and it's day 3. So it's hashtag TF3 for day 3. 3 ways in which you are going to test keeping your audience engaged in between live sessions. I think that's a wrap.
That was very
much,
concise and excellent.
Well, we are going to go on to the other Zoom call now. So I will see you guys there. Click the link I just dropped in the description, in the chat, sorry. come and join us over on Zoom for our session with John Pemberthy on the anti-alpha sales strategy that generated him 30 million in sales. Come and join us. We'll see you in a sec. Lots of love, guys.